Well, Hurricane Ernesto, that's the topic of conversation. And what kind of impacts might we see in Canada? Well, our Atlantic region may be bracing for a couple of different weather variables with this storm. Our meteorologist, Rhythm Reet, is here to break it all down. Where are we at right now with Hurricane Ernesto?
With Ernesto, we are at a Category 1 as it moves just left of Bermuda. Now, with the temperatures of the Atlantic Ocean still being in those high 20s, that kind of raises questions as to, is it going to strengthen? However, as we take a look over the next couple of days, we will see it move into a high wind shear environment, which is good news, Matt, because that's going to help to break and weaken this storm a little bit. But when we take a look at the track heading into our next week, we will see it still as a Category 1 as it enters those Canadian waters. But luckily, as we take a look just off of the coast of the Avalon, it should move down to a post-tropical storm.
Okay, so I think some of those big weather factors we're looking at, Rhythm, especially for Newfoundland, rain and wind. What can we talk about in that regard?
When we're talking about this system moving in, we'll start to see those initial bands push into regions of Nova Scotia heading into our Sunday evening and throughout Monday. That's going to bring with it some heavy rainfall across PEI and Nova Scotia, but the heaviest impact is going to be right along the Burin and into the Avalon when it comes to the rain on Monday overnight. So when we take a look at some of the rainfall totals, the Burin into the Avalon can be seeing upwards of 50 millimeters of rain. When we take a look back down towards regions of the Maritimes, Matt, what we see is still quite a bit of heavy rain. That is more so associated with the troughing, and that's what's also playing a role in keeping and moving this hurricane further towards the left. That cold front pushes into regions of the Maritimes, and that's what's going to bring some of the heavy rain as we head towards Tuesday.
Okay, Rhythm, anything else you'd like to talk about? I know large waves, another factor with this storm that might have some impacts for us in Canada.
Luckily, most of the storm is staying towards the eastern end, but across regions of Nova Scotia, we can still see some of those waves getting up to 3 meters. But the biggest impact is going to be through the Avalon. Wave heights may be as high as 5 meters or greater. And those wind gusts, Matt, luckily, they're not going to be as heavily favored on the western end, but we can still expect those winds to be anywhere between 70 all the way up to 90 kilometers an hour as we're going through our Monday overnight.